Kind of thinking that's maybe, maybe, maybe. Even though he's coming in the next event, we just go time gate Strongheart. We're doing it. We're time gating Strongheart. What am I doing? I'm wild. I'm wild. Stop it. Oh my god, don't. No, that pop up. No. No. Alright. We're running a time gate now. You know what? Let's run Esmeralda. Okay. Run through this. Let's do, I didn't even look at, I was just like, let's go do it. I can't believe I just did that. Oh, the friendship, 175. Of course we gotta go to 175. Of course we do. Already do this. I think. We do 15 minutes of these three things. These three things. So and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Probably should have done more, but that's okay. Hello, Dance Lover, Pranali and Ovium. Welcome. Maybe quit squid over here. We've got a bunch of gems. Let's go spin those. Silver chest. I'll just drop that. Whoa, lots of blue. Oh, large potion of speed. Fantastic. Is it Speed Saturday? There's 3 small speed potions. It might be Speed Saturday. Let's see how many more we get. An epic for Makos. Feet for Tyrol. Okay. No more speed potions. I guess it's not Speed Saturday. On Speed Saturday, that's like basically we just get tons of speed potions, and they're not giving us tons of speed potions. That was disappointing. Duke Ravengard got a chest. That was what we were doing last night. There's this blue. There's a medium potion of speed. Excellent. Marshal of Flaming Fist. Flaming Fist. I'm never gonna get this right. That's his big ability, though. That's a good blue to have. We'd love an epic on that one, but you know, we're at least blue. We're doing good. We're doing good. So we will knock out this time gate. The reason I really kind of wanted to prioritize Strongheart, even though he's not even helping us get to split the party 3, is because he's just a serious beast with Duke Ravengard. And then you combine that with Carlock DPS, which is what this account is, what we've been running. Ridiculous. So, yeah. If you missed the tutorial of the show this morning, I built out kind of a formation around Ravengard, Will, Strongheart, and Carlock. I don't know how great it was, but it got Carlock 4 stacks of Folk Hero. So you can absolutely 4-stack Folk Hero Carlock. Whether or not that's the best formation for her is a whole other story. But it is possible. It is possible. I used up all our time gate pieces, but that's fine. We will get 4 4 on Monday from our patrons. So we'll be good to go for the flex slot for the event. Not a big deal. Trials we're still 2 days out from, so Monday we'll be able to do that again. I do need to do some forge runs at some point to level up some gear. You know what? Let's take a look. Just plan ahead a little bit. What do we got? 5 in Torm. 2 in Kellenbor. 5 in Helm. Only 2 in Tiamat. That's it. So, we'd either want to focus everything in on these 3 champions in Torm, or we'd want to spread it across in Helm. I think we'd probably... Helm would be the better option. I like to spread it out, just in case someone's restricted out. But that means really Helm and Torm, and suddenly we've got 10 legendaries that have leveled up. That'd be pretty good. I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. Yeah, and I mean, you know, we'll have Strongheart. We could still flex Strongheart in the next event if we wanted and get them even more gear. Or we could just flex somebody else in the next event. So that's going to be Founders Day. Deacon. We want Deacon. So there's flex number 1. We already have Walnut. We already have Freely. We're picking up Strongheart. So we'll flex either Nox and Nahara or whoever the other 2 champions are that rotate in. Yeah, I mean, we'll have a lot of that event knocked out. But again, we could always just try to get more gear. For Sergeant Nox, he'll most likely just be in blues, so... Or not Sergeant Nox, Strongheart. He'll most likely just be in blues from this, unless we get lucky on one of his 3 gold chests. I should have done it in an hour. I don't know why I second guessed myself. Unless you have lots of gold find and lots of speed champions, you can't do a 15-minute potion. You gotta do it in an hour in the first one. Hey, Texan. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I believe it. I mean, I didn't see a roof, but with that much hail, yeah, yeah. Time to get the roof replaced. You know, hopefully the deductible isn't horrible. Well, hey, you know, now you can say new roof. And hopefully get more money out of it. Right. And yeah, the truck with all the damage to the bodywork, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, new roof, a brand new roof is a big deal because usually if you want to keep your roof in like the insurance window, it's like, you know, every 10 years or so. So that, you know, buyers know they won't have to replace the roof for 10 years. The truck, that's rough though on the truck. I get it. Like it's never. I hate total losses on cars because vehicles, unless you have just a fantastic insurance, or if it was still, well, no, it's just rough. You never quite get what you're supposed to get back, unless you have like a replacement value policy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what happened. That's why I now have a Mazda 3 hatchback because I had I bought my mom a BMW 3 Series, like just the entry level 3, when she was driving back and forth to work because she needed something. She was 70. She needed something reliable and safe and comfortable to drive. Um, but during the pandemic, someone cut across traffic and just rammed right into me as I was coming along, but didn't see me coming because traffic was backed up. And because it was during the lockdown, um, there weren't enough replacement parts out there because usually they'll take parts off vehicles that have been in crashes. Well, there hadn't been as many crashes, so they couldn't find the parts, so it was going to have to be new parts. And for the new part cost, they totaled the car. And we basically lost a ton of money that we had put into that car because just because that's kind of what happens when you have a total loss like that. It's never as good as you never really get everything back. You say hurry up now. 50k gem speed on Whittle is good for stacking heroes or even in general. I'm trying to remember. Hold on. I think that's the one that just makes them attack faster. I mean, it's okay. You got to remember whenever you're doing stuff like that attacking. I mean, yeah, you're gonna stack. I guess you'll stack things up quicker, but like, why you really like? What are you getting out of it? Um, Early on, the best feats to pick up are her speed feats, the Tasty Friends feats. But when you get into like later on, when you're trying to like build stacks and stuff, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, if that's what you really care about and you want to spend gems on that, it really depends on what your progression level is. Because usually my rule of thumb is like however many gems you want to spend, can you earn that many gems back through normal play in 5 days? 5 days of playing. Then it's worth like saving up for or buying or saving up for. If you can do it in 5 days or less, then it's yeah, sure, get it because you'll earn it up back fairly quickly, right? But usually the priority is first is any kind of um, speed feats and stat feats that put them into patron stuff because you need them in patrons. After that, then you start looking at other things. We're gonna keep going. I don't know on this. I guess we're not going much further, but a couple minutes more. Yeah, the favor's garbage so far. Really, we need more favor. Commons. I've always noticed you advocate buying gold chests rather than those feats. Yes, because you're spending 50k gems, you'll get 100. Well, not 100. Oh, it's... Oh, yeah, I guess it is 100. 10 would be 5. Yeah, 100 gold chests. So maybe 8 epics rather than my... Well, you'd get 100 gold chests guarantees you 10 epics. 10 epics. Because the pity timer is 10. So you'll have 10, maybe more, epics out of 100 gold chests. And along the way, there is a chance that there's a 1 in 25 chance that you'll get a feat, a gold chest feat as well. So potentially, 10 epics guaranteed out of 100 chests, maybe on average 4 feats, but that's maybe a couple feats. So yeah, and then plus all of the consumables that you would get out of 100 gold chests. So usually when you're... That's why I say if you're gonna save up gems for feats, speed feats, because speed feats means you're earning gems back faster. You're completing content faster, so you're earning gems faster. So they're paying for themselves. That's kind of the key. But once you get all the speed feats in, then you make your decisions where you need. Like you want a pushing feat, and it's this is a 50k feat, but this is someone you're going to be using for a long time, and it's a big feat for them. Sure. I just don't advocate saving up more than 5 days. Like basically, what that tells me, if it takes longer than 5 days, that tells me that you're not completing content fast enough. So you need to be building up a better speed team and investing in your speed team. Yeah, that's basically what that tells me. Because once you get into the mid game, gem farming is a thing that is going to help you progress. You just kind of gem farming becomes a thing you kind of want to do regularly. While you want to push content, but you also want a AFK gem farm. Yeah, I really just use Whittle for the fact that she's a speed champion. That's why we picked up Whittle. And I'll swap her into pushing groups. I try stuff out, but you never know. Once you start investing item levels into her, she gets better. And I did put item levels into her. So she's now a pushing champion as well as a speed champion. That's always part of the figuring out, what's going to be the best pushing formation for you. It's like right now, Sentry's got 50 average. Well, we went a little high. 52 average item levels. Whittle's got 50. Diana's got 50. I was kind of shooting for 50 on these itemized speed champs. So speed champs that do have an item. Briv is, on his way to 200. Human is on their way to, I think they're around 150. Where is Human? Why am I? They're there. 121. They're on their way to 150. They're who we're going to next. But right now, we're getting Farlock as our primary DPS up to average item level 50. So I'm just kind of spreading the love a bit with my blacksmithing contracts at the moment instead of going all in on speed. Because the last time I did a new player count, I went all in on speed and basically hit a really hard wall in the mid game and couldn't progress at all because all of my item levels and all of my gear and everything had gone onto speed champions, and it just to the detriment of everything else, and that wasn't a good way to do it. Wasn't a good way to do it. I'm not the one to talk to you about Artemis. Yeah. You can talk to me about everything else in the game. I mean, I understand how Artemis works, but trying to figure out who's the best with Artemis, I don't know, and I don't care. Absorb remain, but people could tell me to go to Artemis. Well, I'm going to tell you to do whatever the hell you want to do. Look, I'm a Karlach man. So, What I can tell you with 100% positivity is that Artemis is only going to start being good for you once you get him to an average item level of 1,000. I don't care what other people try to tell you; they're wrong. I've had this, I've tested this, I've run this on my accounts before. I compared to people with, you know, other DPS with Artemis at like 700 average item levels and other DPS at 200, 150 to 200 average item levels, and the other DPS beat his pants off. This was before legendaries. He's a mid-tier DPS until you get him up to 1,000 average item levels. No, on him. I'm just talking about him. 1,000 average item levels. And then you need to do that. You need to put lots of item levels on his supports too. So like Valentine is a big support for him. She also wants you match her item levels to his item levels to her. So she'd need 1,000 average as well. And then everybody else would need to be like 100 or 200, like, and he needs very specific buffers and yeah. So Artemis is late game. Really, it's better late game because late game is when you'll be able to generate those kinds of levels of blacksmithing contracts. But what you'll find is if you're just building out like a Karlach group or a Zorbu group or a Birdsong group or a Caddy B group or Jim or any of these other DPS champions in the game that are strong, with just average item level 100, 200, 300, they will get you through the bulk of the game. And then you'll be like, well, why do people keep saying Artemis? And it's just because Artemis has the highest maximum potential. So people just, they only care about that. But that's not the game. The game is completing the content, and you can complete the content of the game without Artemis. Once upon a time, I had every adventure and variant in the game completed. And I'd only pulled out Artemis when he was the only one available in a restricted variant to get through, and that was like I could probably count on one hand the number of times I'd done that. So you don't have to do Artemis. They're just, we've had this conversation before. I don't know if you understand this concept. Artemis is the square hole of idle champions. Did I make that a command? Dang it! I need to make that a command. Basically, he's the solution to all the problems, and so some people just don't want to have to come up with like new formations and actually build formations and stuff. And so if you don't want to do that, Artemis, because he can do everything. He can work in every patron except Elminster, so people choose the easy way. Here's Square Hole. I've got to go make this a command. I gotta go build a custom command for Square Hole. I thought we did this. Probably just said I need to make that, and then I never did. And I never did. No. I should just make the command Artemis. There we go. Artemis is never going to get a rework, Napolis. I don't know why even say things that are never going to happen. 100 gold chests, got 4 feats. Nice, you hit the average, and 15 epics. Oh, I mean that's cool. All of them duplicates means you're full epic on your core and evergreens. But that's a ton of item levels. You got tons of contracts, tons of stuff, yeah. But you got 4 feats. So You know, for the price of 1 feat, you got 4. Now, you could have chosen the 1, but you still got 4, right? Yeah, I would say just, keep building Zorbu stuff for the moment. But, I mean, look, it's always a choice. Like, what do you want? If you really want that feat, go get the feat. If you want to, like, I like to, I don't know. I really just target speed feats early on and then stat feats if I need them. Beyond that, some kind of altered functionality feat that matters. There's a few of those in the game. But the rest, gems just go into gold chests. Gems are just they create more gold chests because by the time you get because there's a lot of good feats in those gold chests too, but it takes a lot of gold chests to get there. But you want all the other power that comes from those. Melf or Vi in seat 12 for speed. I prefer Vi. You know, pros or cons? Thank you for asking the right question. So Melf. Let me do Vi. Vi's easy. Vi gives you a chance so that when a wave spawns, because waves spawn with either 1, 2, or 3 enemies on a regular level, and there is a chance that the next enemy in a wave will, but they stagger. Like if you watch the Quasits coming out, one comes out and then another comes out after it. Vi will cause them to come out at the exact same time. This is a speed function because the faster you get them onto the screen, the faster you can kill them. The faster you kill them, the faster the next wave spawns, right? So Vi can help you as you level her up, can help you get all of the enemies in a wave to come out all at once, thus you can kill them instantly, thus it speeds up your progress. Overall, very steady, very consistent. Getting her numbers up high isn't important because, again, on a regular area, there's only 3 enemies in a wave usually. It's only on boss areas that there's 5. I'll just snooze it. So for Melf, he actually has 3 different speed effects. And what happens is when you put him into your formation, he'll have one of them active. And then after you complete 50 areas with him in, it takes I like to mess with people's heads. It takes a D3. It rolls a D3, basically one of those 3, and then it figures out where did it land, and then that's the next speed effect active. So it can re-roll the same speed effect and have the same speed effect going, or it can roll one of the other 2. One of the speed effects causes a chance for extra enemies to spawn. One of the speed effects gives you extra credit for quests, so kills or items, extra credit. And another increases enemy spawn speed. So depending on what you're going to randomly get different effects, and thus they're randomly going to speed you up in different ways. I like the consistency of Vi and 12 better. However, Melf, I find Melf's biggest use is when you're kill farming later for things like, like earlier with Duke Ravengard, you've got to get like 10,000 crits. Well, so the faster enemies spawn, the faster you can get those 10,000 crits, right? Because you put a 10 melee champions in a formation, and you just let them crit like crazy, right? Set up Melf, move Melf until he's in the extra spawns with lots of item levels on him, and then he just spawns tons of enemies. Because there's no cap currently on the amount of enemies he can spawn. Ramping up his extra credit, you could do that too, and basically one kill clear, but only when that's working. And when it hits his enemy spawn speed, he basically takes you. If you've got tons of item levels, he'll take you to max enemy spawn speed on his own. But really, it's the extra enemies coming out that then becomes functional later. But it's for parking on a level and farming kills. So I'd rather. I prefer Vi for the consistency, and then I use Melf for specific things on my main account. All right, now we're running the ad. Solas, I will get to your question right after the ad. All right, I think we're back. All right, let me clear this up, and I will get to the questions. Because there's a follow up. With his no cap on itemizations, can he spawn more than 100 enemies? No. Once he gets to 100, there's a functional cap. It's done. Say there's functional caps on all three of the speed effects. The functional cap for enemy spawn speed is 1 frame per sec. 1 frame. Enemies would then move through the spawn thing in 1 frame. The functional cap for kill quests, like extra credit, is to the point where it's just you kill one and that's it, and you move on. So, what, 24x for each kill? You get 24 extra credit. That would be the functional cap. And then for enemies, it's spawning 100 at once. Soulless Daydream, lurking relative new player. It's all good. Welcome to the community. What is your opinion on the devs recently saying that they discourage the mentality of dismantling champions? They want to discourage. It's not that they currently discourage it. They want to discourage it. They want to create a system where you don't do that. And I'm 100% on board. The game shouldn't be, okay, there's a dismantle. Let's destroy this champion and then put everything into something else. Or, for a full dismantle, like what is available for Esmeralda right now is a full dismantle. And it would absolutely destroy her. It would remove this would make more sense on my main account, but it would leave her on a main account, it would leave her with full epics, and it would strip all of her item levels off, all of her gilding, refund all of her gem feet. Basically, she would be full epic, but level 1, with none of the gem feats, no gilding, no legendaries, no pigments, nothing. And you would have to start over from scratch for her. Well, the thing is they just reworked her. She's great. She's so much better than she ever was. So the only reason you would ever strip her down is if you're trying to min-max some other situation, and you're willing to sacrifice everything you have on her for that min-max. But it then leaves you with a useless champion that you have to build back up all over again later. That's not the game they want people to play. Right? And they definitely don't. They kind of screwed themselves. They did this to themselves. When they made legendaries, they made legendary effects damage based, and you apply legendaries and people roll them towards certain bonuses, and then they're very specific on how they're going to buff and how they're going to work for you, And if you take the time to maximize a certain group around a certain champion, and then they change that champion, you have to dismantle some of your legendaries or re-roll them or readjust your group. And they're seeing people do that quite a bit. And they don't want that either, right? New champion comes out, they sacrifice. If it's better, they dismantle an old champion, basically pull all the legendary dismantle a champion, pull those legendaries off, put it on the new one. No investment whatsoever. But now they can't use that old champion when they want to use that old champion because it just lost the bulk of the power it was bringing is now on the new champion. They want to get rid of that. They want to make it so that when you earn power, it's always active. And so the ideas that they've thrown out are maybe they link legendary effects to rolls. So instead of being linked to a champion, you level up legendary effects to a roll, and thus everyone in that roll gets that power as long as they're in the formation. Or they talked about another idea might be you bench slots. So you power up a bench seat and everyone in that seat gets that power. So as new champions come into the game, you can use anyone in that seat then. You've invested into that seat. That seat is powerful. Then there'd be no need for re-rolling. Some people might still want it, but the point is you level your seats up. Everyone in those seats brings power. Or you level your rolls up. Everyone with that roll brings power. We don't know exactly how they're going to do it yet. We've theory crafted some ideas here. We came up with an idea of, because it's scales of Tiamat, of dragon's hordes, of having each seat be associated with a different dragon, or having each dragon associated with different buffs, and you raise each buff by investing into their dragon's horde and bringing group buffs to the game. We don't know what they're going to run with. I love that. I prefer that idea because right now, well, you can kind of see it here. Right now, these champions, if we come back to all, well, I don't want all favor. I want all that. Can it go just all that have a legendary? I don't think it can. That sucks. Well, I have limited legendaries. You can see here, like there's a limited number of champions that have legendary gear. Those champions are always going to perform better. Those champions are basically going to perform better than champions that don't have. Oh, hey, I did the thing. I broke it. Buddy F will be pleased. Those champions will perform better than champions that don't have legendary gear. And even if a champion comes in that normally is stronger than them, because they've got legendaries, they're probably still going to be stronger. So it kind of stagnates the game, because you're then no longer trying to come up with new champions come in. Let's slot those new champions into our formation. How do they work? Well, you don't know because they have no legendaries on them. So stripping the items away, stripping the power away, getting rid of this idea of dismantles, just making it so that you earn power. You always have access to it. Fantastic. I'm down on that. I'm down on that. Strongheart has the mist mob. Now I'm looking through it. Strongheart has the mist mobs is what? No. Esmeralda does. What? Esmeralda creates the mist. Anybody can kill the mist. Hey, Ravenous. Nathless, is there a use case scenario sometimes beyond just stripping things away? Just there's this micromanaging of moving gilding to certain places. They want to remove this whole micromanaging aspect of that and just, guild correctly or accept the fact that it's random. Like that's, yeah. They just want to get rid of that. Are there lots of min-max scenarios? Yes, they want to get that out of the game. That's not the game they're trying to make. That's not the game they're trying to make. Yeah, Ravenous, I mean, it sounds like somehow you've got an event boon active, even though you don't have a boon. Rolls sound weird to me to upgrade that. Well, basically, I think it would be interesting. I can see that being interesting. We've talked about this a little bit, basically making so tank upgrades would be like, hey, you increase your health. Maybe you get some damage reduction. Maybe you get overwhelm boosts, right? Like there's lots of things that tanks you could upgrade and make tanks better by, making them legendary tanks as I roll. So it's neat. I think where it falls apart is speed. As I just saw Ozzy post, speed upgrades. Yeah, no, that's where it falls apart because I don't think they'll go that way because I don't think they want to give speed upgrades. But who knows? I could be wrong. I think so far of the two that they've offered up, which is rolls and bench seats, I think the bench seat idea is that would be the preferred method. But again, we came up with the idea of Dragon's Hordes, not tied to them at all, not tied to bench seats at all. It's just they're global buffs. So, I mean, so there's lots of ways to do it. There's lots of ways to do it. Yeah, well, it's not even veterans. I'm a veteran, and I tell people don't do it. There's a very small group of min-maxers in the game that are very vocal, and they will tell you to dismantle, always dismantle. Nah. The boons don't do that? There is. No, it's not basic attacks. That's not what it is. It's 60 seconds worth of bud to the base damage of each click. Nothing boosts, nothing adds bud to basic attacks. Oh, what you're saying is your basic attacks are doing bud damage. I read that wrong. Give me the list of champions. There are champions that can add bud-based damage to people's attack. Lae'zel can do it. Like, there's some champions that add bud-based damage to attacks. So I would say, actually, you don't have to give me that. Just look through your champion abilities and see if anybody's adding bud-based damage. Yeah, I mean, buffing the speed roll could just buff damage. But what I don't want to see... I want to see if they're buffing rolls, well, and they're buffing in general, when they're redoing the legendary effect system, I want to see it not just be damage. Because that's boring. I want to see other things boosted. Right? Like if they're doing rolls, healing, well, now's time to boost healing. Give it other things. So, but with speed, you could just boost damage with speed champions. Because then that means your speed formation can push further, right? But then that throw off your brave gem farming. So yeah. I don't know. Oh, we're done. We pushed super far. That conversation was a good conversation, but we're into the EO4's favor. We need to get out of this. That's why I should have done an hour speed potions. We would have gotten way